Hey, what's going on guys? It's Ak, and in today's video, we're going to be ranking every single Fortnite location in Fortnite history. So we're making a tier list on Tier Maker. So basically at the bottom I have every single location that's ever been in Fortnite. And we have the tiers godly, amazing, decent, pretty bad, and never go here ever. So first off we have Tilted Towers. This is the original Tilted, not Neo Tilted, which we'll get to later. That's down here. But basically, Tilted, I mean, I like it. I really liked it. It was good for high kill games. The loot was really good there, except the only bad thing was that a lot of people actually went there. So, but if you like to get kills, that's good. So for me, I'm gonna put it at amazing, because it's not godly, but it's better than these three categories. So now we have Tomato Temple. This has been removed. It got removed at the start of season 6 or 7. I forgot when it got removed, but we're gonna put that at pretty bad. The loot's pretty bad. Well, it hints the name why that's the tier name. But yeah, I really did not like dropping there. Now Tomato Town. Now this is kind of nostalgic, but this is based on the locations, like the loot wise, the location, how many people go there, you know, all types of stuff like that. Tomato Town, it was, you know, I'm gonna put it with Tomato Temple. It was pretty bad. So now we have Wailing Woods. Now, like before the season where it had the bunker and stuff, it was pretty bad. But when they got the teleporters and all that stuff, with the unlimited rift and the 3 houses around, it was really good. So that's why I'm gonna put Wailing Woods at amazing. Alright, now we have Salty Springs. It's not the biggest, but it's also not the worst. It has like 5 or 6 houses, I believe. It does have a vending machine. So I'm probably gonna put it at decent, because you usually get circle, or if you don't have to go that far. Quite a bit of people go there, so you can drop some high kill games, and the loot's pretty good. Alright, next up we have Shifty Shafts. Now this place is where a lot of good pros drop in scrims. So the location, it's right next to Tilted, so you're probably gonna have a lot of people go there. If not, after you lose Shifty, you can go to Tilted to get a lot of kills. So I'm probably gonna put it in decent with Salty, because you usually get circle. Now Snobby, this is kind of a questionable one, because sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's really bad. It all depends on the circle, but most of the time you're not going to get circle, because it's on the very edge of the map. That's why I'm going to put it at pretty bad. Alright, now Sunny Steps, same case with Snobby. The loot's pretty good, just like Snobby, but you usually don't get circle. Now in season 8 you did have the volcano to rotate, but now that you don't have that anymore, rotation is not as easy as it was. Now we have the block. I'm gonna have to put it right in the middle, because some blocks are good, some blocks are bad. It's just random. Now we have Paradise Palms. Now there's, I believe, 2 or 3 vending machines. There's a ton of loot and chests, I'm sorry, and a decent amount of people go there. Also, you have geysers, you have a bridge that has balls right next to it. You have a bunch of good stuff for rotation, and overall, Paradise Palms is a really good spot in my opinion. That's why I'm gonna go ahead and put it at the amazing tier. Alright, next up we have Pleasant Park. Now Pleasant Park is a very good location for 2 reasons. Number 1, the loot is awesome, and number 2, a lot of people go there, so you can drop some high kill games. Also, it's one of the original locations that's been in the game since the beginning, and for those reasons, that's why it's going to be our first location in the godly tier. Alright, next up we have Polar Peak. Alright, so when season 7 first released, this was debatably the worst location in Fortnite, but as the season went on, it melted in revealing the castle. So there's a lot of good things at Polar Peak. There's balls, there's a vending machine, I believe there's like 7 or 8 chests in that one tall castle. There's also a table that you can break that gives you like 250 total mats, and a decent amount of people go here. That's why it's going in the decent category. Alright, now we have Retail Row. This is also one of the original locations in Fortnite. I don't really know what to say about retail because it's pretty much like Salty. There's a decent amount of people go there. There's not a lot of stuff. Usually you get circle or you don't have to go that far. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the decent category as well. Alright, next up, Risky Reels. I know you'd never have circle, but the loot, it's so small, yet so much loot in that small area. It was amazing. Risky Reels is the second the second location in the godly tier. Alright, now we have Leaky Lake. So in the background we have the floating island, so that's, I'm guessing, the floating island lake. So we're gonna go ahead and put that at pretty bad because, again, with Leaky Lake, true, you did have rotation, but it was just so hard to loot with the floating island, and it was just really chaotic there. A lot of people went there with not enough loot for everybody. Now we have Lonely Lodge. Lonely Lodge is one of the best locations to go if you don't want to run into anybody and you want to try and win the game, because you can just loot up, get a ton of mats, ton of loot, then get a ball at the little airport hangar thing, and then after that you can just chill. So that's why I'm gonna put it at amazing. Usually circle's not a problem because there is a ball spot right next to it with locations, because you have the trailer park and the racetrack south of it. Alright, next up we have Loot Lake. This was like the season 1, 2, 3, and 4 Loot Lake. Maybe, yes, season 1 through 5 Loot Lake, and it was probably the worst location in Fortnite. It's kind of sad to put it there because it has been there since the start. But there's one house in the middle, 2 small factories, and then a couple houses around it, which really isn't the best because there's barely any loot. And every time I went there, there was like 5 or 6 people. Maybe that's a little bit of a stretch, but at least 3 or 4 people all going for the middle house at one time, and it was like a pickaxe fest. It was crazy. Alright, next up we have Lucky Landing. Now this is the very, very southern part of the map, the southernmost point actually, so you're usually not going to have circle. Also, there isn't really any ball locations near there. I guess the closest one is in the snow area by where Greasy was, or where the big sleigh is, but Lucky Landing is, I put it in pretty bad. There is a decent amount of loot. I think there's 2 vending machines, but still, you're gonna spend a lot of your time going to circle instead of looting. Alright, Moisty Mire. Whew, this is very, very nostalgic. Moisty Mire was a horrible location back in season 1 through 3, but then when season 4 dropped and they got the whole movie set, it was incredible. And now the only reason it's not going in godly is because there was no good rotation back then other than like the shopping cart, which was kind of useless. So that's why I'm putting it at amazing. You could easily get 999 mats and like 5 or 6 trees. I saw this one video where a guy got max mats in under a minute. It was incredible, but that's why Moisty Mire is there. Alright, now next up we have Happy Hamlet. Happy Hamlet is pretty bad. Now there is rotation and balls there. It's so like compact, but it's so like hard to loot. And it takes like 2 whole minutes to loot one, like 2 or 3 buildings. So you're only going to be able to loot like half of it if you're solo. And then you'll have to go circle because you're not going to be in circle. That's why Happy Hamlet is the second never go here ever location. Alright, next up we have Haunted Hills. It's kind of an underrated location in my opinion. There's a lot of loot there, but circle is kind of a big problem. Not a lot of people go there. That's why it's pretty bad. Junk Junction, same thing as Haunted, literally the same thing. So we're gonna put that at pretty bad as well. Lazy Lagoon. Lazy Lagoon is new in season 8. It's the huge pirate ship. It replaced Lazy Links, so that kind of sucks. But there is one spot on the boat where if you break like the front of it, you get like 200 mats. So the materials are good. Also, you do have the other buildings, so it's gonna go under decent. Next up, we have Lazy Links. Lazy Links, pretty much the same thing as Lazy Loon. I mean, there was a lot of mats there, but let me think about this. There was the ATKs too, which were just fun to use. There was also a decent amount of people that went there. So yeah, I'm actually gonna put Lazy Links in the amazing category. Okay, next up we have Anarchy Acres. Anarchy Acres is not as good as its, I guess, better counterpart, Fatal Fields. So Anarchy Acre is going to go in pretty bad. Dusty Depot, I hate doing this. I really hate doing this, but it kind of sucked. I'm sorry. 3 buildings, 3 total chest spawns. Like there was like 3 loot spawns in each. So that's 9 loot spawns and 3 chest spawns, plus the 2 in the middle. So in total, 11 loot spawns plus 3 chest spawns. But that's only the potential, so you're pretty much not going to go anywhere. But it was amazing. That's why it's going in godly. Alright, next up we have Dusty Divot. Now Dusty Divot is kind of, I mean, the mats are good, location's good, and everything. It has everything like Salty does, except for it has a lot more mats. Loot is not the best, but it's pretty good. That's why I'm gonna put it at amazing. Alright, next up we have Fatal Fields. It's the same as Anarchy Acres, except for a lot more people go to Fatal than they did Anarchy. And with the new cornfields, you can kind of cheese and camp in there. And it's been upgraded a little bit, so I like that. Alright, next up we have Flesh Factory. It was pretty bad. It was like Lucky Landing, the same like distance from circle that you usually get every time, and there was about the same amount of loot. Alright, next up we have Frosty Flights. Now in competitive, it's completely different than in casuals and pubs. So in competitive, I would almost put it at godly, and in casual, pub matches, I'd probably put it at decent, because there are a ton of balls there. Mats are decent, loot is pretty good, and some people go there so you can get some points and stuff, so I'm gonna put it at amazing. Alright, next up we have Greasy Grove. Greasy Grove was godly. It was amazing. Greasy Grove was basically the same as Pleasant. They were like the same distance from circle. A lot of people went there, so you had a lot of potential for high kill games. Alright, next up we have Mega Mall. It's the new retail row, and it doesn't feel the same at all. Mega Mall, I really don't like it, so I'm gonna put it at decent with its retail row. Alright, next up we have Neo Tilted. I do not like this as much as I did like actually Tilted, but Neo Tilted, the slipstreams are pretty cool, but it doesn't have the same feel as the original Tilted. That's why I'm gonna put Neo Tilted there. Pressure Plant was, it was pretty good. They have the geysers there for easy rotation, and you're never gonna really have a problem with circle. There's a ton of mats there in one spot, like the spot that's like closest to Lonely Lodge. So I'm gonna put it at amazing because that is where we're gonna put it, I guess. Alright, so that wraps up my list. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to drop a like, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day. Peace.